Alright, I'm going to give you guys a basic overview of how to add the arena module to your map. So to start, we're using a blank Pavlov template. I'm going to copy the arena module, go into the plugins folder, drop it in, extract it, and then delete the RAR file. Open the U project. And in this tutorial I'm going to go over the basic setup, plus I'll do a little bit of blockout for a map just to show you guys in case you're not familiar with it. Alright, so now we've got the project open. We're going to show show plugin content rather. Go to the arena module. You can see it's there in the plugin folder. Then we're going to go, since we don't have a UGC folder at this point, we're going to go to the Pavlov workshop and we are going to create new. So we have a UGC folder now. Then we will go to our arena, and then the underscore, the numbers after will just be the version number that I'm currently on, so this may be different in the future. We're going to drag this onto the UGC folder and we are going to move folder here. That's the important part. So now we've got our blueprints inside of our UGC folder and we are going to save off this map just so we have a map to work with. And to start, I'm going to delete this floor, add in a landscape at height 0, and I'm going to delete this player start because we don't need that. Then going to search for a Pavlov game logic, drop that in, specify our definition. In our UGC folder we are going to go into our definition and specify the map. This is also where you would change your workshop name, description, your thumbnail, etc. Now to start, we're going to go to the arena folder, blueprints, and we are going to drop in a blueprint manager. We need one of those in the level, and you only need one of them in the level. Next we will go to our lobby. I'm going to put this off away from the center of the map. I'm going to drop in a starting lobby, rotate it so X is facing forward. And then we are going to go to our Pavlov spawns and we are going to drop one in, and we want to line this up in the center of these red volumes. Basically when you shoot through these red volumes it'll deal 5 times the damage back to yourself to prevent people from spawn killing. So we're going to center that up, set its team ID to -1, set it to dynamic, and then I'm using Alt drag to duplicate it. Now I'm going to highlight both of them, control select them, I'll drag both over, and we'll repeat this till we have 10 spawn locations. Alright, so once you're done with that, I'm just going to go through, shift select all of the spawns, then I'm going to also control click the starting lobby, and then I'll hit Control G and that will group them all together. So that way when you move it, it moves it in a group and you don't offset the spawn locations on accident. For whatever reason you need to ungroup it, it's Shift G to ungroup and then Control G to group. Alright, so I'm going to move that a little further away from the center of the map. Now we need to go back to the blueprints folder, go into our arena folder, and I'm going to drop in an arena manager. And to start we will put this at 0, 0. Now you can see the arena number is set to 0, but it's showing arena 1. Note this is just to make it easier for players to understand what's going on, because most people won't understand arena 0. It doesn't technically make sense, but arrays start at 0, so keep in mind that the first arena has to start at 0, not 1, otherwise you're going to be skipping an index. So we'll put that out into the level, and then I'm just going to show you really quick the offset types. So if you look over here, we have the player 1 starting location and the player 2 starting location. You can manually move the player 1 and player 2 starting location by clicking on them and dragging them around in the level. Now, that's alright, but if you're going to be creating multiple arenas and you want to do it fast, personally I set up a different method that I could use. So you use the offset type, and I set that to mirror X. And we go to player 1 start, and I'll set this to 100. So you can see it mirrors the two locations 100 units offset from the center. Now if I set that to 115, we'll bring them up 115 units, and then also if you were to move it over, say 100 in the Y, it just offsets them both 100 in the Y. But if you wanted to, you could use mirror X flip Y, and now you can see you've got them mirrored. The words flipped on the opposite side like they're rotated around. Also, they will always face towards the center if you're using a positive number. So set that to 1000. And now the arena text has to be moved manually. So typically I'll put this up on a wall somewhere where the players can both look when they spawn in and see who they're facing, or it's someone quickly to glance over and see that you've won. Keep in mind that that same arena text will also get populated inside the lobby. The text doesn't have anything in the field right now, so it's not actually showing anything, but basically there's text that will populate right here, and it'll show the status of each arena and who's fighting inside of it. Also note that on this wall I have a leaderboards that gets populated that will go down the wall that'll show the player name and then the amount of wins that they have in total in this game. For current play session, I should say. It is not, it's not perpetual by any means. So that's basically your arena setup, the gist of it more or less, but now I'm going to go over how you could actually block out a basic arena, just so we can go through the entire process. So start, let's say I want this to be, let's do 3,000 long. Oops. By 1,500 wide. We can set this to be 1,000. It's rather arbitrary. Set that to be hollow, and then we will set the wall thickness to be, say, 150. No, I'll do 100. Keep it in units of 100. So now you can see we've got an interior to this room, but the issue is that there's a roof on it, and you may not want that. So we can go into geometry editing. We can select this face, delete that face. Go up here, select that face, delete that face. Now we'll go back into place mode, and we'll drag this up. You can see 1,000 units is probably a little much, but it's alright for now. We basically want to, I'm going to drag this above the level. Go back into geometry editing, we'll select that face, control click, highlight both faces, delete. Just going to push this down. So there we've got our basic starting walls for the arena. I'm also going to set the location to 0, 0, since it'll make it easy to mirror everything. So you can see this is a rather small arena, but this is for demonstration purposes. Now I've selected the arena manager. We're going to go back over to the text render component, and I'm just going to bring that out so it's visible when you're inside the arena. Go back into the geometry, drop in a brush, and let's make, say, a crate. So we got 100 by 100 by 100 centimeters, that is. So there's our one crate. Now, do something to make this easy for myself. I'm going to set the snapping to 100, and this will make it very easy to duplicate stuff. So say, we're at negative 800 for this one, right? We could either, you could think of this in two ways, where you focus on creating one half of the map, or just create an item, then duplicate it over. Anything that's in the center of the map, you would create from 0, 0, 0, and then have it stretch out so it would be centered perfectly and be mirrored perfectly on either side. So I'm going to do the method where I'm going to create one half of the map, and besides the center objects, those will just get created in the center, and then I'll duplicate that over. So we'll make, just say, a couple crates for the back area of the map. Drag in another box, put this at the perfect location. Set this to 500, let's do 1,000, be good. 500 units wide. And then drag in another box here. Actually, let's do a linear staircase. So I have to set the snapping down to 50 to get this to line up right. Oops. Alright, so this is rather like a crude example, but I more or less just wanted to give you guys something to go off of rather than just leaving you hanging. So you can see we've got our basic little ramp in the center of the map, and we've got our 3 crates. So I'm going to take these 3 crates, control select them all. And actually there's an easier way to do this. If I control select both of these, because they're both at 900, if I drag over and duplicate, go negative 900, or positive 900 rather. Now they're mirrored perfectly on the opposite side. 1,100, negative 500. And now that one, of course I didn't duplicate it. There we go. So now that one's also mirrored over as well. So you can see it's rather straightforward to mirror it. And so now I wanted to adjust my starting locations, and I just want them to mirror the X now and no offset in the Y, so they're perfectly across from each other. And there we go, we've got our basic arena set up, and the flow of the match would essentially go, players would spawn in. When they spawn in, they could buy. After they've bought, they'll drop down. Once they've dropped down, they'll hit this volume down here, and they will be considered ready. Once a match is, or arena is also ready, and there are 2 players down in the lobby area, then it will put them in a match. And so it really is constrained by the amount of ready players and the amount of lobbies or arenas that you have. If you have more than 5 arenas, there's going to be no issues with that. It should populate them all. Just realize at one point or another the text may get a bit crazy long inside of this lobby, so I didn't really account for that. I've only accounted for 5 to 6 entries or so, but it's something that's rather trivial to edit. So I'm going to show you how to duplicate them over, say you're this arena set, and we're good to go with it. We like the setup with it. Going to click the walls, going to control click all of the cubes to select them all. And then I will also click our arena manager, which is a bit hard to select. You could have selected it in the center by the text any of it, it's all the same. So now I'm going to hit Control G once again to group it. What I would recommend at this point is to come over and move to create new folder and call this folder Arena 1. And now that way, if you ever need to ungroup it to move something specific in the level, you can ungroup it, but it's easy to come up to this folder, shift click everything, regroup it. Now, once we've got our arena grouped, we're going to hold Alt and we are going to drag. That'll create a duplicate of it. We are going to right click, move to, create new folder, Arena 2. Drag that out of the other folder. Going to hit Shift G to ungroup this one. And come down and click the text. So we have the arena manager selected, arena number 1. So now come back through, group them all. Drag it out. I'm just going to drag out the other ones that I need. 1, 2, 3. Come in here, Shift G to ungroup. Select that arena. This is 2. Shift G. 3. And Shift G, 4. So now, at this point, you're pretty much ready to go. You've got all your arenas populated, you've got all your arena managers out in the level, and you've got your spawn point, or your starting location. What I would suggest doing now is going into your blueprint folder. We'll go to the manager to start, and we're just going to hit compile and save. Main reason being is there's some things in the construction script that need to get stored. We will go to the lobby, and we will also compile and save that, and then we will go to the arena manager, and we will compile and save that as well. And now you should be good to go. If you do run into any issues, feel free to contact me on Discord and just let me know what's going on. I'll try and help you out as best as I can. Outside of that, I'm trying to think if there's any last minute things I need to mention, because I think that just about covers everything. If you'd like to see any new features, also just message me, let me know. Yeah, there's one last thing I forgot to cover. So if you do build lighting, and let me just check, yeah, it shouldn't take too long. If you do build lighting, realize that the starting lobby was built from geometry, or BSP boxes, brushes rather. So it doesn't have a perfect light map on it. So you'll get light map errors like this. What you want to do is, after you build your lighting, just grab it and move it, and that'll fix all your light map issues. You basically just don't want the lighting built on this static mesh, so I just figured I'd point that out, as I've had some people say it's rather dark over here. Also, if you wanted to sort of brighten up your arenas and make the shadows matter a lot less, go into your light source and turn off cast shadows. You can see it brightens them up quite a bit. You don't have to worry about which angle the sun is compared to every single arena. So should help you guys out. Alright, well, thank you. Once again, if you have any problems, just let me know. Take care.